Hello, welcome to the latest episode of Driving with Dan. First things first, I need to mention that intro. So I mentioned it in the last video, it was made by Crobazoid. So thank you, Crobazoid, for making me that intro. I mentioned it in the last video, but I completely forgot to mention it actually in the video, so I had to do it in text. But yes, there we are. So that's the new intro. I hope you all like it. Second thing, you can see, the clocks haven't changed yet. So today is March the 21st. The clocks haven't changed yet, but naturally it's got lighter, so it's all good. Now you can see, and you can't complain about the brightness levels. I didn't mention the episode number, but it's episode 18, so welcome. I'm wearing a different shirt to normal. Look at that! I've got the Clarkson Dam logo on it, so thank you to my girlfriend for making that as a gift. Yeah. So in today's video, we've got a lot of topics about videos, really. Not much has happened in the terms of new cars coming out. In fact, nothing has happened. Today's video, we got the 458, which has been crushed, and I don't know if you've seen that video. Top Gear's latest episode, and then Hoovy's Garage's latest video, Doug Mura's latest video, and then Hubnut's latest video. Fun episode. Yes, so I'm a little bit early, so I don't have to leave just yet. So let's talk about the first topic, whilst I'm stationary. And yes, by the way, we're back in the car. Back to Driving with Dan, not just with Dan. So the 458. So I don't know if you've seen recently on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or anything. There was a video of a white 458 that was British registered, which was being sort of lifted off a truck and then just dropped on the floor and crushed by some big mechanical like scrap arm thing. So this was apparently it was a car that was taken by the police. I've forgotten the word for it. It was taken by the police, apparently by mispayments or something along those lines, I don't really know. And then they just destroyed this car, which, has made a lot of people very, very mad. And I can kind of see where you're coming from. Yes, it's a 458 that's just been destroyed because of someone's mistake. Taking the car from the person, of course, agree. That's fair enough. But then destroying the car, isn't that a bit wasteful? And this isn't the first of these supercar videos to be destroyed by police or by anyone, really. But I think the more to the point is, isn't it a bit wasteful? And I think, personally, I think the car shouldn't then be road legal. Which, because then the person could just buy it back, if you know what I mean. Especially if it's been used or modified for the breaking the law thing that they've been doing. Then you can't really use the car again. I get that completely. But why don't they instead take apart the car and, I don't know, maybe sell it for spares and repairs, and then the government can then make money, which should be a win-win, right? So instead of just destroying it and wasting it, and that costs them money, why don't they just take it apart and sell all the parts? Because, a 458 brake light must be worth a fair few pounds. So why don't they just do that? I don't know either. So that was the first topic, and now I'm still early. Right, I don't have to leave yet. It was a 458 that got destroyed for police reasons, which is fair, but didn't really need to be destroyed. Salvage it, and maybe the chassis number, so the actual car itself, be destroyed. But, say I want a 458 engine, that could have been a great way to get a 458 engine in the C1. We would like to see that. Anyway, so the next topic then is Top Gear. Someone just ran past me and looked at me really, really weirdly. Because, of course, when it was dark, it was less obvious to work out what was going on. But now it's light. You can just look at me and who's that idiot? Yes. Right. What was that? Yes. So, Top Gear, latest episode was fantastic. No other word for it. It was very, 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 very good. In it, there was the Dodge Demon, which I think... No, the Grand Tour didn't feature, so there we are. Mark up for Top Gear. And then it was a battle from South Korea of the Kia Stinger versus the Hyundai 130 or i30N. i30N. A hot hatch. And then followed by a 2CV. Still early. Yeah, so... the point of the Dodge Demon, they were just saying, well, isn't it sort of a bit of a one-hit pony sort of thing, where It does very well in the quarter mile, but does it really do anything else? And then Matt LeBlanc went out to prove that it can do something else, and that was land an old plane, really. It's a plane, I can't remember what it was called. It was an old reconnaissance plane. People are running past me again. Why are there so many runners? Yeah, so it's an old reconnaissance plane. They're looking at me. Woof. Right, yeah, it was an old reconnaissance plane from America in the history of Cold War, probably. But then it's been now used by NASA for research, apparently. But it's apparently very, very hard to land, because it's only got one landing gear at the front and one at the back and nothing on the wings. So you sort of land and it can all go horribly wrong, especially if you clip a wing, then, you know, you can picture the rest of the scene. So they need a car to follow behind so they can spot the plane come down, so all is lovely. And Matt LeBlanc reckoned that the Demon was the best car for this. And it did very well, apart from spinning out a little bit, but, you know, it did very well. So there we are. Yes, and the next bit was the South Korean. It was a battle of the Kia Stinger. So if you don't know the Kia Stinger, it's a saloon that's meant to be sort of rivaled at BMW, sort of M3 sort of thing. Jaguar XF, probably? Yeah, it's more XF size. And those sort of cars. Maybe it's the 5 Series then it's a rival of. It might be a 5 Series, BMW 5 Series. So a big sort of saloon car that's sort of reasonably priced at around £30,000. But this sort of went through the Kia Stinger, and it's impressive at where it's at, apart from a few little problems. But overall, an amazing effort of the car. And then it was the Hyundai i30. It is the i30N. And Rory was just blown away by how good it was. He said he would prefer it over a Golf GTI. When you look at the prices, you know, it's quite impressive what Hyundai have done, especially when you look at the power ratings as well. How the Hyundai's got way more power for the weight. It's all right, isn't it? You know, and then they put it around the track against the Golf. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the Hyundai won. Yeah, so the next bit is 2CV. And I've got to go. Lovely. Right, let's start the engine. There we are. Right, I'm back. Yeah, so then the next bit then was the 2CV. And this is, well, it was a section looking at Chris Harrison's personal car. And he owns a 1950s 2CV. So that means it's got the crinkles in the bonnet. Sad that I know that. Well, it's not really a bonnet, because the engine's in the back. Or is it in the front? I can't remember. No, it's in the back, isn't it? Oh, I can't remember. That's bad, isn't it? Yeah, so this was his personal car. And he was in France. Where better than sort of where it was designed to be. And they were sort of just going through sort of the design specification for the car. It said, oh yes, it needs to carry 2 people and so many eggs wearing church hats across a muddy field. So, right, we're going to try it, and they did. Bit silly, but quite funny. And they went and did that, which is good fun. And then they did some other bits, and then they did some 2CV racing, which, yeah, it was all good. So it was overall a very, very positive and happy and constructive episode as such, because no cars were destroyed in the making of the video, which for a car person like me, it's quite good news, because I've sort of had enough of people just destroying cars because it's funny, because it's not funny, because it's been done 100 times before. Yeah. Top Gear, very good, go watch it. It's on BBC iPlayer and anywhere else, I have no idea. Yes, so the next topic, wow, I can read this. Because I think this is my first video that I've done that's been properly light. I think. Yeah, probably. Yeah, so that's that. So the next topic is Hoovie's Garage. So Tyler Hoovie, if you don't know, buys really, really bad cars that are very, very cheap and probably the cheapest in the USA. And the latest one that he bought was a Ferrari 355. And you go cheap 355, avoid at all costs, it's probably going to be very, very, very expensive to get it running. But that's where you're wrong. in today's video, actually, he has solved the problem that was wrong with his car and is actually able to test drive it and prove that it's all good. And essentially what it was when he bought the car, coolant was spraying everywhere from the engine bay and he had no idea what was really going on, but he bought it for, I think it was, well, he traded his NSX and threw in $10,000 as well on top of that. So that's probably, I don't know, 60,000? I'm not sure. But a very, very low price for a 355, but that wasn't running. Then he took it to the car wizard, who's his trusty mechanic, and they worked on it. And it turns out it was just a hose that it just, I think the seal on it had just gone. So a new replacement of the hose, which is just a hose, costing $600, fixed it. And then they filled up the coolants, tested it again, and it was all fine. So, well done to him for purchasing, well, being lucky, purchasing a car that's that good. So I think he is very, very happy with himself, and I think that's probably one of the best purchases he's ever made, apart from maybe the Cayenne, which was just modified so a company could buy it cheap, sort of thing. But yeah, no, go and give that a watch. So Tyler Hoovie, or Hoovie's Garage, with the 355. Worth a watch, because it's quite impressive. Yes, so the next topic is Doug DeMuro. So, latest video of Doug DeMuro is he is looking at all the quirks and features of a Ferrari Enzo. Yeah, well, Enzo Ferrari, I'm sorry. And he looks at all of the different features and everything, and then does his normal review. Apart from, because the car's £3 million, dollars, whatever, US dollars, I don't know what it was. Because the car was so expensive, he wasn't allowed to actually drive it, but he still had to look around at all the quirks and features of the car from the interior and exterior. And it was amazing, really. You sort of look at the Enzo as a bit of a halo car, really. It's sort of something you're never really going to be able to experience, but interesting to see nonetheless. But it's amazing how basic it was, really, especially compared to the latest sort of level of these hypercars like the LaFerrari. The level between the Enzo and the LaFerrari is staggering, with wind-up windows, and you know, it just looked a bit bare, which was amazing to see. So well done to Doug DeMuro. And if you ever wondered what an Enzo even looks like from the inside, now you can. So it's a great video. Just go give it a watch. I think it was only about 15 minutes or something, because of course he didn't have his driving section or his Doug score after. But still worth the watch. It was very, very good. Yeah, so the next, God, we're rattling through these topics now. The next topic is a channel that I've just found. Well, it's not just found, it's a channel that I came across a few months ago, didn't really watch much of, and then it disappeared. And then it came up in the recommended again recently, well, this week. And it's a channel by the name of Hubnut. I know that's not something rude. It's essentially this guy called Ian, who has some rather, not rubbish cars, but unusual cars in his collection over in Wales. Lovely Wales. And he just works on them, really. He'll buy some cheap cars and has some fun. And that's the sort of video that I like. Maybe it's just me being a bit boring, but when someone buys an Invacar, if you don't want one of those there it is. If someone buys an Invacar and then gets it working, well, actually two, and then gets it working and gets an MOT and makes it road legal, I like that person. And yeah, so this is basically what Ian's done. He bought one of those Invacars, two, but they haven't been road legal. Well, they were banned by the government in 2003 because they were just unsafe. But I don't know how it works. I don't know how it's worked, but somehow he's found a loophole in the law, or someone has, which means they're actually road legal. It was just they were banned by the government for certain people, I think, or something along those lines, and they ordered all of them to be scrapped, but the ones that weren't scrapped can still be MOT'd and made road legal. Something along those lines, but he's got one that is actually road legal, and he went and did an MOT on it in the most recent video, and it passed, which is fantastic. So now he's got this road legal, essentially motorbike with 3 wheels. And yeah, it's really, really fun. So if you're slightly mechanical minded, or just enjoy seeing some odd cars that you don't see every day, go and check out his channel, which is Hubnut, or he's got a website, I think it's hubnut.org. But I've been really, really excited watching these videos. They've been great. Yeah. What else has he done? He got a Daimler, well, which is essentially a Jaguar XJ, an XJ6, but it's the old one, with the square brake lights and headlights and stuff. You know, the ugly one. And he got one of those and got it from Scotland for something like £300. And then drives it back from Scotland, and it was like all the way to Wales in his car that he just picked up for a few £100s, and he made it back. Yeah, no, really, really fun. Someone blocked I think that's not a lane, sir. Can I get through? I can! Right, yeah, no, it's just loads and loads of really, really good videos. And what's really nice is that no budgets, they're just him having a bit of fun, which is good to see. You know, that's what I want to see on YouTube, is people just having a bit of fun. Yeah, so that's it, really. Thank you for watching this YouTube almost, or video-based episode. It's now gone dark. And I hope you join the next video. I don't know what's going to happen in that. Hopefully some more new cars and stuff to talk about. But yes, go check out all the videos that I mentioned, because they honestly are worth a watch if you've got a spare few minutes. And that's it. There's a cyclist in front of me, but they're going exactly the same speed as the traffic, which is quite impressive. Right, anyway, yes. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Cheers.